And it is crazy how many people go like, huh, that's interesting. I guess that does make sense. I should do it in an interesting way. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me?
Say the word, say the word. Say the word, goodbye. Say the word.
10:36 in the morning currently, and yeah, it's been a little bit of a slightly different morning. I started my day a little bit earlier, and I just did a whole bunch of admin stuff. I had a bunch of things with payments, so I had to like send some invoices. I had to answer some pretty important emails. I had a couple people who wanted to reschedule their lessons. A little bit more admin than normal, but just kind of started the day off with that. And now the day is going to be pretty straightforward. Got some Spanish teaching, got some French teaching, got some English teaching. I won't be able to show most of the teaching actually today. And then I'm back at the University of Calgary for the clubs week. It's going to be talking with the different clubs on campus to see what kind of partnerships we can set up. And as per usual, all the administrative stuff, all the video editing, and yeah, that's kind of what the day looks like. Looks like my student is not going to be showing up for their online class, which means that basically I get paid for not doing anything. Alright everyone, same deal as usual on this live stream, so except, well, slightly different situation, but same plan as normal. I had a student who didn't show up for their lesson. Excuse me. I had a student who didn't show up for their lesson this morning, which means I've got a little bit of free time. So I'm gonna get some marketing work done. I have, if you guys watch the vlogs, you guys know that I went to Clubs Week, or one of the Clubs Week days on campus at the University of Calgary. And I started the process of networking with some different clubs to set up sponsorships, set up different, you know, strategic partnerships, let's say. And I've got some follow-up work I need to do from there, so I'm going to be working on that along with a couple other admin things. So, as per usual, if you have any questions, anything you guys want to, any questions or anything you want me to talk about during the stream, feel free to type them in the live chat. I will make sure I answer before the live chat is over. So. It's interesting because I think if you were to go rewind back through my content, let's call it anything before maybe 3 months ago, maybe 3 months, something like that, you would not, I think, I'd have to go and actually like watch it all, but if memory serves correctly, I don't think you would find much where I was talking about how you need to study languages in an overly interesting way. I don't think there's a lot. Maybe there is, but if my memory serves correctly, there isn't a lot. And that was because I was just like, I thought that's common sense. I thought learning anything had to be done in an interesting manner, and it had to be done in an engaging manner, and if it's done in a boring way, it's really hard to learn. Like, I just thought that was super common sense. So I started to look more into it, and basically I started to talk a little bit more about it. And it is crazy how many people go like, huh, that's interesting. I guess that does make sense. I should do it in an interesting way. And it's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, is it that foreign of a concept? Maybe they went through a bunch of classes that were boring and they just think that's how learning is, right? So I don't know. There's definitely logic to it. There's definitely options of why it happens. But yeah, in my perspective, like, it has to be done in an interesting way. finishing up here at the U of C. A little bit less fruitful today than last time around, so it'll be a little bit of a quicker trip, but that's okay. You know, a lot of the clubs that were there are ones that I'd spoken to before, and then some of them that just didn't feel like there's a great fit, but you know, still a couple that may or may not work out, and then still got a meeting done with one club today, which I think we'll probably be able to work out a pretty cool little gig. And then also I found a club that I just like from personal interest, so it's a geek club. So the meetings on Fridays, and they just hang out, they eat pizza, they play video games, watch movies, TV, and I was like, oh yeah, I could do that every now and then. So. Just finished teaching a French lesson here, and I was just thinking about something after the lesson, that one of the things that matters a lot, at least in my perspective, about when you're learning really any language is the fact that you absolutely need to learn things in context. So I'll give you an example. It's kind of like, you know, I remember, for example, when I was in China last year learning Mandarin, often we'd be using textbooks to learn Mandarin, right? And there's nothing wrong with that per se, but one thing I specifically noticed is that oftentimes I wouldn't actually remember most of the words that we learned. The only words I'd remember are the ones that I could actually foresee myself using on a fairly regular, if not regular basis, or words that I just thought were interesting, right? And because of that, there's some context, there's some sort of connection point there with the words I was learning, and the words where there wasn't any connection point, you know, it was hard to remember. And so one of the things that I always think about a lot, and I try to implement when I teach, is I want people, someone's calling me, is I always want people to make sure there's a connection point as often as possible with the word that you're learning and something that actually matters to you. So for instance, I taught a French lesson, we learned a lot of words by the use of a song. So the song was a song that my student liked in French, and we started to go through what the words meant, so that there's some sort of connection point, there's like an emotional connection to it, right? Whatever the connection is, there needs to be something, otherwise it's, you know, not likely that you'll actually remember. So anyway, it's about 5:15 p.m. right now. I've got a couple of hours before my next student, and so I'm going to get some admin stuff done, some marketing stuff done, and I think this will be the last clip in the vlog. I'm going to kind of wrap things up because I can't record much of my last lesson. So thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.